Sisters and allies, the building trades have not been the same since President Sean McGarvey took the helm. It is men just like him who are helping women pave the way. This tradesman who came up through the ranks is the son of a strong mother, husband of a UA sister, father of 2 daughters and 2 stepdaughters, brother of 2 sisters, and a grandfather. Throughout his career, he has prioritized tradeswomen and their families. He continues to fight for the protection and empowerment of tradeswomen. He is strengthening diversity, equity, and inclusion at all levels of our industry. President McGarvey has said, "We all must keep fighting to open more doors for girls and women to break glass ceilings across the world, to stand up for decency, justice, and dignity for all." One thing President McGarvey says in his speeches is that it is good to be with family. So sisters, please stand with me to introduce one of our tradeswomen's biggest allies and supporters, my IUPAT family and union brother, North America's Building Trades Union President, Sean McGarvey.
Good morning. Oh, come on now, tradeswomen. Good morning. It's been 3 long years since we last gathered in Minneapolis. It's an honor to be here in front of you today. On behalf of North America's building trade unions and the over 3 million members we represent, I welcome you to your largest Trade Women's Build Nations conference in history. Now, before I get started, I first want to say a thank you. Your work during the pandemic was unprecedented. When the world shut down and fear gripped the globe, work needed to be done to keep our infrastructure and our economy running. You stepped up to help, keeping our economy afloat, lessening the suffering in North America. Sisters and allies, between the pandemic, shutdown, civil unrest, and an ongoing coup attempt, our members, your families, and our 2 countries have experienced so much in the last few years. You kept the supply lines and transportation systems open. You kept our electrical grid up and operating, refueled nuclear plants, performed maintenance on roads, bridges, schools, coal and gas plants, and refineries. When there was a dramatic need for expansion of hospital beds and ICU units, you built tens of thousands of temporary hospital beds from coast to coast. You converted regular rooms to ICU units. You kept the manufacturing plants going to provide masks, ventilators, and supplies that our doctors, nurses, and first responders needed. And sadly, you even built temporary morgues. You went to work on the front lines every day, unsure whether you would get infected and bring COVID home to your house. Many of you slept in cars and garages to isolate yourself from your family. When history is written about real patriots, your faces will be in the history books. As I've said before, your work during the pandemic is our proudest moment in the history of the building trades. Thank you on behalf of me, my family, our NABTU family, and our countries. Our governing board, officers, and the entire NABTU team commend the NABTU Tradeswomen Committee and its chair, Vicki O'Leary, for their hard work persistence, and thoughtfulness that went into making this conference happen and for keeping up the momentum of this movement, and it is a movement. You ladies are phenomenal leaders and mentors. I want to thank each of you in this room. As the video said, you're all champions. Your work every day is greatly appreciated. Each of you showing up, standing up, and working together to drive positive change in our industry and in our society matters more now than ever, more than you know. Almost every general president is here. Sisters, the U.S. Secretaries of Commerce and Labor are here. The late RBG has spoken to you. You had Sheryl Sandberg speak to you. You had the Vice President of the United States speak to you. And the President of the United States, Joe Biden, who in my opinion is the most pro-worker president in our nation's history, requested a tradeswoman introduce him as some of the biggest policy signings for our industry in our history. Sisters, the list goes on. Not many other professionals get that. Sisters and allies, right now, tradeswomen have a lot to celebrate, especially with all the amazing policy victories. Now, I know a number of you are not from Washington, D.C. or Ottawa, but the great opportunities that have recently been generated for each of you in this room from U.S. and Canadian governments supporting workers like us is unprecedented. In Canada, the federal government worked diligently to make it more affordable for workers to travel where jobs are. Your unions advocated for more workforce development investments, and your government delivered by doubling funding for it. Also, Prime Minister Trudeau and your parliament are putting building trades workers at the forefront of the just transition consultations. This means they want to hear from you about the future. They want to prioritize workers in a clean energy economy. In the United States, President Biden and Congress have laid an extraordinarily sustainable foundation that will generate millions of middle-class family-sustaining jobs and protect workers' health, women's health and safety, and wages for years to come. They did this because they care about each of you in this room, and they heard from all your unions. Sisters and allies, our efforts to secure the American Rescue Plan, which provided direct payments to extended unemployment, a child care tax credit, and a long-awaited pension relief that saved the pensions of hundreds of thousands of our members in the multi-employer system. Pension relief of any sort, let alone a 30-year benefit guarantee for 1 million members, retirees, and their families, was inconceivable in the last administration and the previous Congress. Then we had the bipartisan infrastructure law, which was always promised by presidents and never delivered until Joe Biden. This investment alone will keep hundreds of thousands of our members gainfully employed and create ladders of opportunity for thousands and thousands more to join our ranks. This milestone law will secure more building trades careers for women, communities of color, while rebuilding our nation's crumbling roads, bridges, rails, and schools, providing breathable indoor air to our school children and hospital patients, and secure good-paying union jobs for all our members, present and future. Sisters, you made this happen. You've gone onto the job site and gotten the job done, time and time again, proving that the value our unions bring to the table and showing what organized construction workforce is capable of accomplishing. As a result, the Biden administration is ensuring these investments promote strong labor standards with project labor agreements, local hire, registered apprenticeship utilization, to name a few. The president and real leaders in Congress, mostly Democrats and a few Republicans, didn't stop at the bipartisan infrastructure law. They also passed the CHIPS and Science Act and the Inflation Reduction Act. Between all these pieces of legislation, there's nearly $4 trillion of U.S. government investment that will be leveraged over the next 10 to 15 years, creating hundreds, if not millions, of jobs for current and future tradeswomen. These new laws are game changers for unionized tradeswomen and your families. After I represented you at a recent event, President Biden put his hand on my shoulder, looked me dead in the eyes, and said, "I only want one thing from NABTU and its affiliated unions. With these investments we've made, I want you to use your training infrastructure, your apprenticeship readiness programs, and I want you to reach into every rural and urban community in this country and make sure that men and women in those communities, many of whom haven't had an opportunity for a middle-class, family-sustaining career in generations, are lifted up through these investments and taught skill sets that will last a lifetime. He said to me, building the middle class in the United States will be the cornerstone of my legacy. I assured the President that he can count on each and every one of us to do our part, and like we always do in the building trades, we will get that job done. At NABTU, we keep amplifying workforce development, apprenticeship readiness, and recruiting programs to meet the demand of a strong pipeline of the most highly skilled tradespeople out there. Sisters, our annual $2 billion workforce development investment in our registered apprenticeship system continues to be the gold standard. Since 2017, building trades have annually registered about 75,000 new apprentices each year. Go ahead. To increase and diversify registered apprenticeship candidates, NABTU and industry partners established Trade Futures, a new 501c3 organization aimed at further expanding building trades recruitment and retention efforts. Trades Futures is working with women's groups, end users, contractors, your international unions, community-based organizations, schools, and government agencies to expand the use of apprenticeship readiness programs, or ARPs. ARPs across the U.S. have grown from only 25 programs 15 years ago to nearly 200 today. In the last 5 years, 80% of graduates have been people of color, 20% have been women. This nonprofit is led by Executive Director Nicole Schwartz and has a board of directors of several industry and building trades leaders, including Melissa Wells, who serves as NABTU's Special Assistant to the President and a state delegate in Maryland. You will see both Nicole and Melissa featured in some of the conference workshops this weekend, and Melissa is opening tomorrow's plenary, and both those ladies rock, let me tell you. We also know we need to do more to support young parents entering the trades. That is why Trades Futures is leading the way in a launch of 2 child care pilot programs to be tested in New York City and Milwaukee. The goal of these pilots is to lessen workforce burdens with the reassurance that workers' children are in a quality care facility while they work, as well as easing the progress through apprenticeships by reducing the financial and emotional burdens that come with finding quality child care. Sisters, we also applaud your unions that are making great investments in innovative child care and maternity leave programs. This weekend, you will hear about one of the newest initiatives that the Bricklayers Union announced this past summer. On top of all these growth initiatives, NABTU has continued expanding our internal trade union programs, one of which is our Lean In program, which provides tradeswomen with peer mentorship and safe space to share experiences and advice on navigating the building trades as a woman. If you haven't joined the Lean In Circle, go to one of the workshops this weekend and learn more, and hopefully you'll join one. Sisters, you may have noticed a deck of cards of tradeswoman heroes in your swag bag. These cards highlight our Tradeswoman Hero Award winners from a program we launched 2 years ago. This program honors 4 tradeswomen per month, 2 apprentices and 2 journey workers, nominated by local, state, or international leadership for their outstanding work on the job site and within their union. A number of you were here with us today. Please stand and be recognized. Where are my tradeswoman heroes? There they are. Last but not least, the pride of our women's work is this conference and the entire Tradeswomen Build Nations movement. Sisters, you have broken your own record, as we have over 3,300 registered delegates here this weekend. There is nowhere on the planet where more building trades members gather each year than at your conference. This is only possible because of your work, your commitment, your solidarity that you carry with so much pride. All these initiatives, together with the countless local programs and efforts from international unions, are done to strengthen our ranks and make you feel as supported as possible. And we realize we still have a long way to go. With everything I've just laid out, it's clear we're going to need a big infusion of new tradespeople to get the job done on these large federal investments. This is our opportunity to show the world what we're capable of achieving. We want you to help us. Spread the word on the good work being done by building trades members in every community. You are the ones that build our infrastructure. You are the ones that keep our local economies running. You are the ones that are essential. Through a coup, a pandemic, and some of the most uncertain times in recent memory, you continued going to work and showed that when workers stand together, we can accomplish anything. I encourage you to use this power to influence other women in your respective communities to join the movement. Tell them about the programs that unions offer and the family-sustaining careers that come with being a building trades member. Talk to your local leadership and building trades councils about implementing apprenticeship readiness programs if they don't already have one. Use your voice and your passion to get as involved as possible in your union. Continue to create positive change for all building trades members and their families. Thanks to each of you, our tradeswomen committee, our governing board of presidents, we have the opportunity of a lifetime in front of us. Don't stop now. Keep pushing. Stay motivated. Stay engaged. Let's do this for building trades women of today and tomorrow. You are the backbone of our unions, and with your voice and solidarity, anything is possible. We are truly stronger together. Thank you, and have a great conference, ladies.